Yo, what's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. Sorry to turn down the stream for a second. Just to keep you guys informed, we are going to go ahead with the series between Sad Jellyfish and Backdoor Bandits. Backdoor Bandits mid laner was having some PC issues, and no one could get a hold of him. But we found out he's okay, and his PC is up and running and working now, so we have a full lineup for Backdoor Bandits. At one point, Mage was going to sub in, which we are grateful for him to be on standby for that, but not needed. Uh, so, all in all, that's what we got going on so far here. And as we can see, these teams were ready to go, so we are in draft already. So yeah, we have Sad Jellyfish on the blue side, Backdoor Bandits on the red side, as this is a pivotal Group B matchup. Backdoor Bandits is 2-0, Sad Jellyfish is 1-1. And if we can run through the bans here real quick, Sad Jellyfish ban Jinx, Sway, and Vi. Backdoor Bandits ban Aurora, Diana, and Vladimir. So Vladimir being a staple ban against Salt. He's an absolute monster on that champion. And we see Sad Jellyfish end up taking the first pick, Caitlyn. Caitlyn being kind of a rising popular pick in the league so far. I personally don't think Caitlyn has the the biggest win rate at the moment, but for the most part, she's still a very stable mid laner, and yeah, she's still a very good champion. We see Backdoor Bandits end up coming out with a Rek'Sai here. Okay, very interesting pick. Not something we see a ton. I know there's a couple of junglers that pick Rek'Sai. Ghost Tiger from Insane Banana strikes. I believe played Rek'Sai a few times this split and dating back to even last split. And I think there was another jungler. So, but Rek'Sai, all in all, pretty good early game ganking jungler that falls off in the mid and late game. So, we see Sad Jellyfish respawn with Victor as Backdoor takes Nami second pick on the red side. So kind of trying to break up the Caitlyn Nami, which I think is a pretty pivotal combo if you know how to play against it or play it, I should say. Bubble comboing with the trap does a lot of damage, especially at Nami E. So Victor, and then we see Poppy coming out. Poppy being a pretty good flex pick between jungle and top, and actually support for that matter. Not seeing Barty play at all, so not really big on his champion pool here, but you know, I assume at this level he can play just about anything. And then you see a Galio coming out for the R3. Galio being a very stable anti-mage mid laner, builds pretty tanky, but still can output like a decent amount of damage as well. And then we see Backdoor Bandits opening up with a Kennen ban. A Sad Jellyfish respawn with a Rumble. Kennen and Rumble, two of the premier AP top laners in the meta so far. Then you see Olaf coming out. So we've seen Dippy on the Olaf earlier this split, but Dippy has just an insane champion Ocean here. Famously, last split in the regular season did not play any repeat champions. He played a different champion every single game, and it was a much longer regular season than this one. And then Ziggs coming out, so Sad Jellyfish doing their best to get rid of kind of the AP options, knowing that Galio's not going to bring the most amount of damage here. So Hui and Ziggs being taken out means the AP bot laners are kind of only restricted to Seraphine, unless you want to do some free Brax kind of stuff and play Lux. But here we have a Misfortune. Very interesting, as I think Misfortune doesn't really like fits the comp a little bit. Like Galio and Rek'Sai have a decent amount of CC to keep people in place, but Caitlyn's range means she's not really too threatened by Misfortune ult. Victor can stop the Misfortune ult with his ult, and he has quite a bit of movement speed. And Poppy has a lot of innate CC in her kit, so I believe she's going to be able to stop it. And then on top of that, we have Braum coming out, so we're kind of showing that Poppy's potentially going to go jungles. Lil could go top, but Braum's wall ends up stopping a lot of Misfortune's ult, Nami's ult, Galio's Wings of War. And then we have Malphite coming out, so that is in fact a Poppy jungle. And Malphite in the top lane. I really like this Malphite pick, as Backdoor Bandits really don't have much AP damage coming out here. So let's see what they pick out in the top lane here to round this out. Could be a Silas. Could be... Oh, we got a Mordekaiser. Okay. So there's a little bit of the AP damage coming out. Not the most amount of AP damage, but still a respectable amount. Does pretty well into Malphite. And can just turn any team fight into a 1v1 as he takes him to Brazil. So yeah, I do apologize for the delay. I know both these teams definitely wanted to get started on time here, but yeah, this is where we're at. We finally got this started, and I can't wait to see this Group B action.
What's the worst that could happen?
So, anybody out there in the chat, well, let me know who you're rooting for, or what team comp you like. I do like to interact with the chat quite a bit.
Shed light on our fears.
If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. I'd rather be home anyway.
I was really excited to see Mage play. Yeah, I was too, as Mage Han is a very, very talented mid laner, and Salt by default has been an MVP of this league previously, and having faced against him, he's an absolutely talented mid laner as well. Very aggressive in lane. Or I assume that is Mage talking in the chat. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, Mage, thanks for the troll.
Alright, keep going.
No, but I am excited when I watch you guys play. Especially guys like you, Salt, Rurika, like stupid talented mid laners.
Going.
Actually, I have laned against Mage Hand before. Yeah, wasn't pretty. Hey, Mage, are you still in the chat? If you got a second, when you go back and watch your guys' last series where you played, listen to the background music when I'm at the first scene to wait for the stream to start. It's very faint, so you might have to turn it up, but listen to it. If I did it right, you should recognize it pretty easily. Might sound a little something like this. I knew you'd recognize that. Yeah, I'll probably do that for all of your games, not gonna lie. And we are going into game. Yeah. Please. Uh, okay. This makes too much sense that I'm already like don't like it, but Salt by default bringing the Grasp of the Undying on Victor here. I really like this. I think into a melee champion, I think it makes way too much sense. It is a really smart adaptation by him. So I'm kind of curious to see how this will play out if he lacks any damage or anything. I mean, it is Victor. I don't think he's really ever going to lack damage. But I also think like you could abuse First Strike. I just think First Strike on range has been nerfed so much that Fleet or Grasp is definitely better. So, just glad we get to see a series here. So, hopefully we load in soon, please. And we are in game, people. Let's have some fun. Time controls comes off. Let's see what ends up happening. But we are in game here with Sad Jellyfish on the blue side here at 1-1 in Group B, and Backdoor Bandits on the red side is 2-0 in Group B. If Backdoor ends up winning this, I believe they're already a lock in the playoffs. Sad Jellyfish win this, it puts them in much better contention here. Oh, and we see a ward end up getting taken pretty swiftly by Sad Jellyfish's team comp as they look to 5-man invade the bot side here.
Minions have spawned.
So I'll be really curious to see how the bot lane goes here with Mark Cutie being unfortunately not playing this series. We'll see how Barty ends up performing next to Shanti. Shanti getting his Caitlyn, which has been a very, very legacy pick for him overall. And Mark Cutie's just known for being not only just aggressive, but roams quite a bit as well. So we'll see if Barty can synchronize these rooms with the rest of the team. We see Malphite kind of pushing back, getting pushed back here by Mordekaiser, which is kind of to be expected in this matchup. I see Barty just trying to do his best to freeze the wave here. I do like the Braum E there to block the Q. But we got Poppy, looks like she's 3 camping bot side here. So, got a big flash coming out, but not after Bard passive was already up there. So there's first blood coming out by Haku, getting a very, very early gank on this bot side here. He ends up 3 camping, going bot. So really nice punish there. Now, I'm be curious to see what the extra resolve runes taken by Soul, if he switches up the build a little bit. And maybe, I wouldn't say goes like Rod, but might go like Rylai's and Leandry's, something with a little touch more HP. And Haku doing a pretty good job. Only gets the blue buff here, and now is getting the Scuttle Crab. So, didn't lose any crab tempo there, but still has some other camps to go back to. And Arosep has a ward here to see Poppy come on. So, see, that ends up being another flash burned by a Haku gank here. You see Haku coming in here to gank Imperish on this Galio. So Haku burns 3 flashes in his first 3 ganks and gets first blood in the bot side. So he's already really, really active on this map here. And there was no way for SEYX to punish that on the Rex side either. We see Poppy getting 2 longswords here, so we might see something like either an lethality or a bruiser Poppy here. I think it's probably most likely going to be bruiser. because they're going to want the little extra added tanky stats here. But we see Empress ends up delaying the back here by Haku. So let's see if Rek'Sai can use this tempo. Oh, and Dippy ends up flash ulting Aricep's under turret here. I think he wasn't expecting him to hit level 6 with that minion wave here. But we see a solo kill coming out from Malphite, and what they picked was a counter matchup into the Mordekaiser. So Sad Jellyfish looking very in form this game so far here. We see Empress doing some trades here into Salt. We'll see what each jungler wants to do here. Looks like Rek'Sai is, he's trying to solo this drag as Haku is up here grabbing the grubs. So trade of early game objectives here by the junglers. Now I'm very curious on the grass stack. So he's used it 11 times. Got some health on it, not too much. So here at about the 7-minute mark, we got a 600 gold lead on the side of Sad Jellyfish. Oh, but here's a gank coming in by Rek'Sai here. Flash ganking the Victor. And even though Victor flashed away, the Rek'Sai ult still follows here. So that's SCYX getting one back here onto Salt's Victor. Yeah, it looks like Haku ends up getting the Raptor camp here, but you got Salt TPing and the bot lane coming up. There's a flash coming out by Haku to delay them a little bit. And it looks like Sad Jellyfish is going to get one on the way out here, as Salt ends up grabbing that kill. So there's one in return here to maintain just about an 800 gold lead for the side of Sad Jellyfish. The bot lane, the back door, though, ends up punishing Shanti, since his support decided to roam up mid for that invade here. This is going to force Caitlyn to consider backing here. Salt kind of getting bullied around by Galio here, but trading some decent poke back. Already has his first Victor upgrade. Sporting the new Arcane Victor skin. Sad Jellyfish decided to, draft a Caitlyn lane. You see the Caitlyn pick is getting pushed back quite a bit here by MF Nami, as they opened up a 30 CS lead off of this laning phase here. So it is kind of offset by the difference in kills here, so gold ends up being about even. But we'll see what kind of impact this Caitlyn's going to make. You see the Victor stun going off here, but Q was kind of in the area. Don't know if he was thinking about ganking that or not. But we see Backdoor Bandits now trying to get tempo here to secure the second set of grubs. I'd hate to see them go down all 6 grubs. Support's roamed up. We see Shanti from Sad Jellyfish roaming up as well. So this could end up being a big 4v5. But we see a fight here in the mid lane off of this tempo here. And, shockingly enough, like, no one ends up getting taken out up until Dippy showed up. And he takes out Nami here. Is now fighting back this Galio as well. You see Mordekaiser is took Shanti to the death realm here, but ends up taking him out. So all in all, it's a 2 for 1 so far. But now we're going to end up seeing a 3 for 2 come out here in favor of Sad Jellyfish, as they now have some tempo for these grubs here. That's also a massive shutdown going over the Victor as well. But we see a TP coming out from Mordekaiser here, so I don't think they know that Sad Jellyfish only took the 4th one, but Salt is taken out as well here. Oh, but nice flash to get away from the Mordekaiser here. So with 4 grubs being taken, I think they're going to leave the last 2 over to the side of Backdoor Bandits, which is all they need. 4 is just enough to spawn the void grubs. But Backdoor Bandits doesn't care about these extra 2 void grubs here. They're going to take the second dragon, which is an ocean drake. I actually think the ocean drake's pretty big when you're majority melee favored comp. Because it just kind of helps you keep topped off in health a little bit in case you absorb a little bit of poke. Especially from like there's some poke reliancy coming out of Caitlyn and Victor, but they're not like overly spec'd into it. As we have some supportal combat going on here for the sword. Okay, that was fun. Nice E from Mordekaiser to get away. See, these bot lanes are kind of scrapping here. But all in all, Miss Fortune has no issues trading, as she's the one with the Bloodthirster. Nice stun procced over here from Shanti. See the Hollow Radiance coming out by Malphite here along with the MR boots, so he's not too scared of Mordekaiser right now, but you see a gank coming up here from SCYX. But you see Salt is showing up as well, so looks like they're trying to knock out this Mordekaiser, but they overall couldn't, as once he went to the Death Realm, he dodged the majority of Victor's damage. And Galio ends up showing up as well, so 1 for none as Mordekaiser picks up another kill. Well, we see them catching out Emberish here on Galio. They're going to end up taking him out. Oh no, they do. After Braum had the flash for it, since Nami showed up to heal him. Yeah, Barty's having a really good game subbing in here for Sad Jellyfish. 1-0-6 right now. will say though, Backdoor Bandits, their bot lane is just kind of showed up this game. I mean, you're a little over 10 CS a minute coming out from this Misfortune here, so she's gonna have a really big impact in these team fights if they can't get to her. And it looks like this bot turret's gonna fall here. As that's the first turret going over to Backdoor Bandits. Pretty slow for the most part right now, though we do see Rek'Sai starting up this Rift Herald here. But we see Empress definitely get bullied here. Nice flash ult by Haku to chase Galio out. So Galio's just taking an absolute beating here, as this just keeps allowing his Victor to just keep scaling here. So he looks like he is already upgraded everything. No, it looks like he's working towards his last upgrade here. And Sad Jellyfish is also using this opportunity to take Dragon here, so see if they can stop this Dragon scaling. So, as SCYX ends up trying to go for the steal, but Sad Jellyfish does a really good job stopping him from getting close enough. And that's Chemtech Drake going over to Sad Jellyfish, as they're up by just a little under 1,000 gold here. Oh, there's a big ult coming out from Malphite. I think he's trying to eliminate the wave and get some turret damage onto Mordekaiser here. Mordekaiser still ends up taking his first turret, but at what cost? Most part, it's been a fairly quieter mid-game than I were to expect, but I think both teams understand what their win condition is and when they pick fights here. But we'll see how Backdoor Bandits ends up playing this out, as they keep evening up this gold lead through CS and just macro rotations. So we've seen Malphite complete the Thorn Mail, which I think is a pretty big armor item that'll also stop the grievous wounds. Will be nice for against Misfortune's Bloodthirster, and even Rek'Sai when they burrow heals. So all in all, not too terrible. Also, we see Riftmaker coming out from Mordekaiser, so Grievous Wounds are going to be pretty good into that as well. You see, the most part, across the board, the top laners are pretty fed. They're the only ones with 2 items so far. We see Salt's just a touch further ahead than Emperorish, completing his 2nd item, just looks to be a Leander's tournament. So I think Leander's is going to be a big pickup in these team fights. You see, again, the bot lane for Sad Jellyfish kind of getting bullied around by Backdoor Bandits' bot lane. Here, it's just MF is putting on an absolute CSing clinic. He's well over 10 CS a minute here. 230 CS by 22 minutes is absolutely insane. We see Dippy trying to fight back here against RSFs, but he ends up ulting this Malphite here. Let's see if he ends up taking him down. Yeah, and Dippy ends up getting solo killed here by this Mordekaiser. So let's see who Sad Jellyfish now want to kind of allocate to stop that push. Oh, big headshot by Caitlyn there. Oh, we see a big engage coming in here from Backdoor Bandits. As everybody gets away from this MF ult, we see Haku ends up pelting away this Rek'Sai here. See if Sad Jellyfish can turn this. So there was a lot of ults used from both sides here. MF ult down, Nami ult down, Mordekaiser ult coming back up. Malphite still has ults. Victor ult down, Braum ult down. See if Backdoor Bandits want to end up trying to fight this. And we see what looks to be a TP coming in from Galio off this mid wave here. So Galio's going to ult this ult Rek'Sai as Backdoor Bandits ends up turning on the Salt here. But Dippy tries to save him with a Malphite ult. We see Mordekaiser fighting Caitlyn up here in the top. As Backdoor Bandits are pushing back the Sad Jellyfish to top. Sad Jellyfish does a good job, though, getting this 2nd dragon. So let's Backdoor Bandits not get that soul point here. It's a really, really big team fight. But we now see Backdoor Bandits paying this Baron here. I think if this team comp gets Baron, that's going to be pretty big. Because this is the one thing they can use to push and push effectively. As they are losing, they lose the wave clear battle quite a bit, especially with Salt being decently ahead on this Victor. This Baron going down for Backdoor Bandits is at the 25-minute mark. They're up just a little over 5,000 gold. This Backdoor Bandits team has looked very impressive joining the league this first time. This split is their first split in this LOL Midwest League, so doing quite well, pushing back one of probably the biggest legacy team that's been in this league for quite a few years now. So. See what Sad Jellyfish has to respond here. I think if they can let their team comp scale just a little bit, try to weather the storm against this Baron. I think they do outscale having like a fully dedicated tank and Malphite and the Victor does put out just a massive amount of damage. It's just, with this Baron though, it's really hard for Malphite to withstand this push from the Mordekaiser. Aurosep's just wearing down Dippy here in the side lane here. And that's top tier 2 going down here. See, that's the thing is this Backdoor Bandits comp. Once they get Baron, it just helps them push and split so much easier. Like they almost need Baron to end this game without like a decisive team fight. Where Sad Jellyfish has no issues like stalling this game out. They also have really solid zone control if they ever can like get out of their base. And Caitlyn traps Victor, Braum. We'll see the Baron buff has now fallen off here beside of Backdoor Bandits, so we'll see what ends up happening. You still see MF, while has CS'd a little bit less than before, still the 10 CS a minute, so she's on her 3rd item right now, which is pretty massive. We'll just see how valuable of an ult she can get off, because I think that's the make or break of these team fights here. We see Backdoor Bandits starting up this this 3rd Drake here. See what these top laners want to do. It looks like they're both kind of holding back against the wave a little bit. We see if Malphite ends up getting his TP stopped by Mordekaiser here, but we see Haku flashes in and steals this dragon, which is massive. They used Rek'Sai as the Galio delivery system a little bit, but they Sad Jellyfish's comp is kiting back a little bit. We see the Victor ult coming out, but MF is just doing all this damage here. She ends up getting a double kill and a shutdown. So, massive team fight overall here for the side of Backdoor Bandits. As I thought they pulled the trigger a little early. They should have waited till Rek'Sai ulted in. But Galio and everybody else like spread them out enough that MF could start picking them off. So let's see what Sad Jellyfish can do, especially with this this next Baron coming up. 'Cause like I said before, I think Backdoor needs this Baron to continue to push and put pressure on them. I see Galio TPing in after pushing this bot side here. So they're definitely looking at this this Baron. See, we have a potential engage that got dodged out here by Barty, so he's definitely playing this Braum very, very well. We see Dippy coming into this quarter here. I don't know if that's where he wants to be. This MF just does so much damage right now. Looks like Backdoor is just kind of funneling everybody into the mid lane to get a push here. And now that Mordekaiser's bot side, they're gonna go back to Baron potentially. Nope, they're just gonna reset. Let's see how this ends up going for these two teams, as I think our next fight's going to be over this dragon here. That's here in about a minute, as this is sole point for Sad Jellyfish. Though I think if they want to play the scaling game, they're okay with giving this, as I'd like to see Victor start to move towards some type of pen item. Well, Galio's the only one that has like an actual dedicated MR item, so pen may not be like the most needed. It looks like he might be going after a Shadow Flame. See these two beefcakes just trade blood in the spot side. We see Haku trying to go into his jungle and clear some vision out to get some pressure back, but Backdoor Bandits let him know that that's no longer his. We'll see if Haku tries to end up trying to steal this again. Assault's going to have to answer Mordekaiser here in the top lane. The dragon ends up getting stopped here, so let's see how Backdoor Bandits want to play this, as they have the positioning on this dragon. They end up starting it up again. Let's see, it looks like they're trying to go on to Galio here. MF uses the ult to try and zone out, but Dibby ends up ulting back in. And here comes a TP coming out by Mordekaiser here. We have yet to see Salt TP to this fight. Caitlyn's doing quite a bit of damage here. Now Salt ends up TPing here. So I think he's just a little late on this, but he might have the flank on the Misfortune. Yeah, we do end up seeing Salt take out Nami. Let's see what he can do against this 2v1. As it is a fully scaled up Victor now. He's got full death cap, full 3 items here. But Galio ends up TPing to the top side now to get this inhib. So you see a lot of just very, very tough decisions getting made here. We see Salt's going to end up taking out potentially Misfortune. No, ends up being just a little bit short here as they shut down Salt's Victor. And Emperorish just is knocking at these turrets here. Might be a potential... No, he can't end it. As we see the rest of Sad Jellyfish is coming up here. But this also gives the other members of Backdoor Bandits time to get this dragon here. So both teams are going to be on 3 Drakes here. What is a very, like, back and forth game. Not in the sense of gold, but a lot of tempo, a lot of pressure.
Not dented. Heal me.
And we've seen them just kind of posturing and collecting some waves here at the 38-minute mark. We've got a 9,000 gold lead for the side of Backdoor Bandits, but we see them catching Haku out in the middle of his jungle here. But with Braum with a big wall to block the MF ult, which I think surely would have taken down Haku, as he has only the Dead Man's Plate for armor here. But that gives Backdoor Bandits some tempo to go after this Baron. Which I mentioned before, like this team comp really needs Baron to get the push to end here, because they do not win this wave clear battle. But we see Bard getting caught out here, and Salt ends up doing what he can with the ult. But you see Misfortune ends up getting caught out here. Misfortune with the GA so far. Big catch here, and they do end up taking down Misfortune here. So this is one chance where Sad Jellyfish can turn this fight. You see Caitlyn in the back line trying to chip away at this Galio here. You see Mordekaiser at the bottom of our screen going after Haku, with Salt kind of in the back trying to space it out with his abilities here. But all in all, looks like the Backdoor Bandits team comp is just too tanky for Sad Jellyfish to get through here, as they end up picking out Misfortune, but they just did not have damage to take out the rest of them. And Empress ends up TPing into the base to take it down, as it looks like game one is going to go over to the team of Backdoor Bandits. So, big catch out there by Sad Jellyfish to grab the Misfortune, but all in all, it was still not enough, as Backdoor Bandits still had enough residual damage and tankiness to fight back and win that team fight. Really solid game from both teams, honestly. As we will go over to the client side here to see Salt putting out a boatload of damage, 41,000 here, but look at the gold value that's on this Misfortune. She got to 6 items very easily. Yeah, Barty had played the game really well, but just got caught out in that one pivotal team fight there on the Braum here. But had a lot of really solid walls there to block Misfortune ult. I just don't think they had enough damage to get through the Galio, the Mordekaiser, the Rek'Sai. Like, Victor does a pretty good amount of damage and can control team fights really well. and he has so much AoE damage that he can deflect it onto the back line. But as far as actually taking out like quite a bit of tanks, he still falls a little short for that. And Caitlyn is not known as a big tank buster either, so let's see what adaptations the Sad Jellyfish team will make as this series is now in match point for Backdoor Bandits here. And just as a nice sorry, I had to cough there for a second. Still fighting a cold. It is the season. But just as a reminder here for you people that have two monitors or just love to flop back and forth, I believe our Pies and Caster Pugly are still on the Twitch channel casting another series from Group A, which is a battle of two 2-0 teams. So feel free to throw that on the second monitor and catch that action out. A coin flip and TKB just ended. Alright. So, while I said to go over there, that series just ended. I do not know the status of that series, but feel free to check it out later. We will have it on the YouTube channel probably tomorrow for a VOD. So, and yes, Victor Apple, game 1 just ended. And spoiler alert, Backdoor Bandits take game 1 off of Sad Jellyfish. For those wondering, this series did get off to a late start. Emperorish was having some PC issues and could not connect. So Sad Jellyfish was nice enough to let them continue the game. Though Mage Hand from Team Ghost was willing to step in and sub it right when they were about to pull the trigger on that. Emperor's PC ends up working. He decided to get on and play this game. Victor Apple, this is a sub support, so no more cutie today for Sad Jellyfish. Barty had a really solid game 1, had a really lot of clutch Braum follow-up engages, had a nice wall, so blocked Misfortune all. And overall played really well, but got caught out in that last team fight that kind of started the game-ending team fight there between both those teams. So, just waiting for an invite on this Game 2 lobby here. For those just joining us from the other stream, I know you guys can see the results, but we're just kind of going to go over here and look at the draft here. Just to give you an idea of how we got to that game 1. Backdoor Bandits ended up getting, I think, pinched a little bit on some of the AP top lane options, but went with the Mordekaiser. And Sad Jellyfish ended up getting a pretty solid start, as Haku burned 3 flashes in the first 3 ganks. So he was very, very active in this early game. But all in all, I think the team comp from Backdoor Bandits got ahead enough and did well securing the Barons. So and it looks like on this game 2 here, Sad Jellyfish has chosen red side. So we will see what kind of adaptation they want to make in the draft. So we'll see what they want to do here in this game 2, as this would be a kind of a shocker to see Sad Jellyfish go to 1-2 on the regular season, and what's turning out to be a very competitive, very tough Group B. So we see Backdoor still getting the memo. Don't let Salt have Victor. We see Backdoor Bandits ends up banning the Victor, and then Sad Jellyfish accidentally banned the Jin, so that is going to be Jinx. That is a Jinx ban on red side here. Backdoor ends up banning then the Diana away. See, Victor, a lot of strong teams. There is an insane amount of strong teams, and all of these new teams just look like they're not afraid to scrap with a lot of the talented teams here. So it is refreshing to see. So we see Sad Jellyfish getting rid of the Hui just being a really solid mid lane pick. Backdoor Bandits getting rid of Aurora. Salt by default is like scary strong in that Aurora here. And then Sad Jellyfish respond with the Galio ban. So we'll see what Backdoor Bandits end up wanting to be one here. There's a lot of strong picks still up. Victor's still up. You got some strong junglers still up. Sejuani, Skarner, Mbessa's still up. Camille's still up. Vi. Okay. I can't say I'm a great big fan, as Vi's been shown to have a very sus kind of win rate here. So you're already indexing into like a hard engage pick comp in a way. So let's see if Sad Jellyfish finds a way to just already draft against what I feel is a very easily countered pick. Ezreal and the Vi would be quite interesting. I feel like Vi's okay with seeing that type of AD carry. Yeah, we had no prio on Mbessa at all last game. So it's quite interesting. Mbessa makes it through a draft. We'll see if either one of these top laners want to pull it out, as both of them are very, very talented. And we see Sivir come out for Backdoor Bandits. Sivir, as I noted in our power ranking show, has I believe it's a 75% win rate across 5 games 4 games, and has been a very sleeper, useful pick out of the 80 carry slot. And then we see a Karma come in. Okay, interesting. Karma, kind of a multi-flex pick, can go top mid support. I think overall you kind of expect her to go support. Some supports like her, some don't. I can assure you that my team support enjoyed Karma and was a very big comfort pick on her. So Karma, very, very useful, especially in the early laning phase. And we see a Zillion coming out by Sad Jellyfish. Interesting. I'm curious if this is Salt's Zillion or Barty's, as this might be the first Zillion we've seen this split. So, I know if, I believe Calico is one of our known Zillion players in the support role here. So, it'll be interesting to see if somebody else actually can pull this off. Zillion looks quite interesting into the other comp. I do like it as a response into like Vi, because if Vi just jumps on the Ezreal and everybody dogpiles him, you know, Zillion just presses R on him and poof, he's back alive again. You just wasted cooldowns. So going into the second banning phase, we see Jax, Talia, Kled, Olaf coming out. So quite a few top lane bans coming out here. We'll see what Sad Jellyfish wants to R for. Can't ban out Dippy. No, you really can't. As the dude has an absolute ocean worth of champions. And Veigar coming out, so that's odds are is that's Salt's Veigar. Which means Zillion is most likely going support, unless Dippy decides to play another different champion top lane. We'll see what Backdoor Bandits ends up wanting to respond to. I feel like this is actually a decent setup for an artillery mage here. If we can get something like a Vel'Koz, Xerath, Lux, Ziggs, something like that to chain on with the Vi ult. Because Vi ulting onto Veigar on the Ezreal still has value here, and I think Zillion can revive them, but at that point you're still having the frontline push into it. We see a Rumble coming out here on the side of Backdoor Bandits. Rumble could go mid, could go top. Oh, and a Garen showing up here. Okay. So my guess would be this is either a Garen mid or a Rumble mid. Rumble ult on Vi ult looks strong too. I absolutely agree here. Like Rumble, you wouldn't think would be a great like artillery mage or damage from distance, but the Rumble ult does have a scary amount of distance here, and with Vi locking them up, does have value here. And we chat's calling, Soup is calling it a Garen mid. I could definitely see it being a Garen mid. And Gwen top coming out. I'm being told that Backdoor Bandits mid laner does play some Garen mid. So I think Garen mid is smart. Like you can just throw up the W. You have increased tenacity when you walk through the cage. I think the issue is though you're still giving Veigar 1 AP every time you're trading on that. So I mean you're eating spells. You're both just scaling. It's not. I mean, as I don't play Veigar too much, but it's not a matchup that I would be overly worried about. You don't really even have too much gank setup either.
What's the worst that could happen?
Veigar does get the scale. Does get the scale for free, which is not something you want to let Veigar do. So all in all, I really like this team comp over here on the side of Sad Jellyfish quite a bit here. If Backdoor Bandits can keep the pressure up early and keep the tempo really, really fast, then they have a chance at this, but they don't have the biggest...
I'd rather be home.
They have Vi, but that's it, honestly, for Engage. I mean, you can kind of count Rumble in with that as well, but you know, Vagar, especially if he goes the Vagar V2 build, you'll have Winter's Approach for some health. You'll have Zillion just ulting whoever Vi ults. Ezreal's in the back. Like you're not touching this team comp of Sad Jellyfish without like catching them out or disjoining the team fight quite a bit. So while we are jumping through draft here, I'm going to go get myself something else to drink. Be curious to see what who the chat favors in this, as Backdoor Bandits is up 1-0 onto Sad Jellyfish in this Group B action tonight. So let me know who you favor here, who you think's gonna win, and I'll be right back.
Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
Grounded?
Y'all wanted to you was all yellow.
Alright, and we're back here. So, back with game 2 of Sad Jellyfish versus Backdoor Bandits, as Backdoor Bandits has a 1-0 lead. It's technically 1-1. Wait, It is 1-1? I did not get that message. Interesting. I did not know that. Well, I'll have to confirm with them after this game. I did not know there was a game 1 forfeit. No. Either way, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's go ahead and get to this game here. So, a lot harder for it. I'm with you, Victor Apple. I really like this team comp here by Sad Jellyfish. I think they kind of got everything they wanted. They don't have to play super fast, which sometimes, I mean, they're the kings of playing fast, but they can sometimes play too fast in a way. So I'll be curious to see overall what happens here. And it looks like it's going to be just a standard 5-point coming out here by Sad Jellyfish, followed up by a 5-point coming out by Backdoor.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn.
Improve your skill.
As Salt ends up pinging the 1 AP he got from that Q in the mid lane here. I just don't yeah, there's nothing getting to this Veigar. I mean, Vi can, but she's just gonna get blown up immediately. And there's not really a tanky enough member of Backdoor Bandits to withstand the Ezreal poke. There's not like a super tank or anything like that that can get to him or stop him from doing what he wants to do. So, well, this Backdoor Bandits team comp has like a lot of innate damage and it can definitely run down a team comp. I just feel like they still lack some necessary tools. I feel like if they had an answer for the Veigar scaling and something in the form of like a Skarner or something, that might be just a little bit better. We haven't seen Skarner, Mbessa, or Camille prioritized in this series at all. There's I think the top 3 highest prio champions in the split. See an early level 2 coming out here. On the side of Backdoor Bandits as they trade a little bit of poke. You see Salt just every time his first strike is up, he's autoing this Garen, just trying to get as much gold as he can get.
Never falter.
Salt's doing definitely a fine job CSing here. Let's see, and already he has 13 on his passive stack here. A touch behind on the CS, but it's fine. See a decent spell shield coming out of the Sivir there. see a Gwen vs. Rumble matchup in the top lane. That's not a matchup that I honestly know anything about. It's not something we see that often here. It's two AP champs in the top lane. Kind of curious to see how this goes. I would assume that it would be fairly Rumble favored up until Gwen just decides to go full Gwen mode. But Rumble, I could see a world where Rumble can fight back quite heavily. We see Sans is sniffing out Haku's gank here early. And Garen having enough prow from mid lane that he's kind of invading and getting a little bit of pressure on the Haku as well. So Haku already not having the early game impact that he had last game, where he burned 3 flashes at like 5 minutes with back-to-back-to-back ganks. Overall, this was an interesting pick. Oh, but we see the support roaming up here as Dippy tries to all-in Aruseps. But Dippy ends up getting ganked by the jungler and the support player. So Backdoor Bandits striking first here as they take a 1-0 lead. And they're up now about 1,400 gold. And they're using this tempo to go after the Void Grubs here. But we see Sad Jellyfish responding with the Dragon. We see Salt looks like he's getting caught out a little bit, but the rest of the Sad Jellyfish team's coming up. And Salt ends up flashing after the Garanar animation comes down here. But we see Barty and the rest of the team picking off Garen here. As Haku's going after Karma, and Vi tries to do her best to help here. But that ends up being 2 for the price of 1 in favor of Sad Jellyfish, as now they tied up the kills 2-2 here. And they're still down about 1,000 gold. We see double tiers coming out for Sad Jellyfish, so definitely not afraid to scale. Oh, but we see Veigar catching out this Karma here. See, but we see Sivir come up, and then Haku ends up diving in here, forcing Sivir to flash away. So definitely some pressure there on the bot side of the map. We already see a slight CS lead in favor of the Backdoor Bandits AD carry here, up about 15 CS. Already kind of starting the farm diff that happened in the first game, where she was well above 10 CS a minute. We see both these top laners trading ults here. You see a flash coming out here by Rumble as Dibby just kind of melts down. So we'll see what ends up happening here. There's a clutch level up, but there's 3 here. And SCYX ends up taking the kill here in the top lane scuffle. So we see Backdoor Bandits understanding that their team comp does not outscale, and they're trying to play as fast as they can, which is good on them to notice that. But Sad Jellyfish doing their best here to just try and scale and play as slow as they can. You see a stun coming out by Zillion on the bot side. We see Vigar getting to the point now where he can WQ the backline. So, see what kind of stacks he's on now. He's on 86 stacks, sitting at 160 AP so far. So, Vigar is definitely getting a little accelerated here. Almost 10 stacks a minute, which is pretty massive actually for Vigar. Normally it's somewhere in the world of like 6 to 8. But we see an all-in coming out of Haku on Ariceps, and Dippy's chasing his woke here. But we see Karma coming in with the heal and the enhanced shield, and now looking to tether Dippy here. So Karma roams have been pretty clutch here, especially in this top side of the map. The side of Sad Jellyfish isn't really pressured to make too much happen here. They can just sit back and relax and just, you know, absorb some of the pressure here. They took the first dragon, which is absolutely massive. I think they can afford to give up second grubs. I know 6 grubs is pretty busted right now, but you haven't dropped very many plates right now. You see Haku ends up diving up top lane with Dippy to get this rumble here, but it's still going to end up being just a little short as Vi tries to flash Q. But we see Dippy come out with the immune field, but it's still not enough as SCYX ends up getting the kill on Dippy. And Haku ends up flashing away here. But here we see Garen doing Garen things. And that's a Garen flash here and trade for the ult out of Barty. So kind of worthwhile trade. Ezreal's getting kind of poked down from these Sivir Qs here. Assault still just slowly collecting AP off this. I'll be curious to see what he does with this tier of the Goddess. I still think he can go the winner's approach and just stack a boatload of health. Because even if Barty doesn't ult Veigar, if Veigar gets Vi ulted, he's going to be easily tanky enough here. I even think if it doesn't, he can still spec into something like Zhonya's to help him out. But Winter's approach is just so cheap of an item. But we don't see Backdoor Bandits really pressuring this dragon enough. They're just kind of letting the Sad Jellyfish comp still lane and scale with little to no issues. With only 1 plate taken for each team here, sorry, 2 plates taken on the side of Backdoor Bandits with 6 grubs. Like, this early game is not going heavy enough in their favor that it works out.
I will not falter.
What do you guys think in the chat here? Do you think Backdoors is playing this fast enough? Because I feel like they're just letting Sad Jellyfish just kind of scale and lane for free. Here they go. They must have thought about this, and now they're pressuring this dragon quite a bit. I think as your Sad Jellyfish, you give these dragon or 2, but Haku ends up diving in here, and Haku ends up stealing this second dragon here. There's a shutdown going over to Haku off of this Vi. And Vagar's here. As we kind of mentioned into this draft, that this Vagar ended up zoning out so much there that when Vi ulted in, she was by herself. That steal was absolutely massive for the side of Sad Jellyfish. Now they have another 20 minutes of scaling they could do. Garen ulted Wukong clone. I did not catch that, Victor. Oh, that's such a feels bad. Oh my god, the Drakes are infernal. I mean, if Backdoor Bandits stack up Infernals, it's going to hurt, but double Infernals for Vagar is absolutely so insane here. We see the support for Backdoor Bandits potentially get caught out. She ended up having the flash. But the bot lane for Backdoor Bandits dodged the Ezreal ult and is now trading back. You see Zillion ult come out for Shanti here. But Shanti ends up flashing forward and getting Sivir here in what was a pretty good trade overall. And then we see the Rumble ult coming out, forcing Barty to flash here. So really good on the Sad Jellyfish to make the best out of a pretty okay situation. I know they chose to fight, but you know, Shanti getting that kill after seeing Rumble TP in was pretty clutch.
Darkness closes in. Drill right through it.
These backdoor squad's gonna want to get this Rift Herald here soon. Like, I just think you're going to need it to take down turrets. As now Sad Jellyfish is scaled up enough that they have the wave clear and zone control to just push their comp back. Because it looks like they're jumping on Salt here. Garen eats quite a bit of CC here, but Haku's trying to zone him out. See if they Dippy ends up taking out Empress here. And Vi ends up being slowed here, but ends up getting out before the Vagar cage forms up. So another kill going over to the side of Sad Jellyfish here as they're just scrapping back. Even though they're down about just a little under 3,000 gold, their comp, I think overall, they're just ahead. Vi ends up taking this mid lane turret to get the first turret, but I think she might go down after this.
Fiery spirit of the Euro Inferno.
And the Sad Jellyfish comp is still chasing, but here's Garen coming in. Garen, I think, will get out for the most part. Vi threatens the Q in, but you're below 50% health. You're just asking for a fat Vagar R. Well, just for context, Vagar has 174 stacks, already 300 AP in a 18-minute game. Yeah, this Vagar is going to be massive here. Once this Vagar gets to death cap, it's going to be able to one-shot virtually anybody. Yeah, Haku's had a fantastic series today overall. Victor, I know you didn't get a chance to see game one, but this game one, especially the early game, was super well. And this is what I don't want to say expected, but, you know, this is not a surprise to me, as every time Sad Jellyfish seems to have lost a game, they respond back so well. We see Backdoor Bandits turning onto this Drake here, which I think is perfectly fine for Sad Jellyfish to get. I know it feels bad that it's a Fire Drake, an Infernal, sorry. Oh, the Ezreal just barely misses Karma there. I'm actually surprised I don't see Phase Rush on this Garen, because I feel like he wants to dive in and out a little bit of that team comp. Of Sad Jellyfish's team comp, but overall I don't think even Phase Rush is going to do enough. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Veigar might end up taking out CYX here, maybe? Nope, she ends up having to burn Smite to get the blue buff. I'm actually surprised Veigar did do a little more damage, but he's still scaling, as he went with the double scaling items, Seraph's Embrace and Rod of Ages. We'll see what he ends up wanting to take next. The cloth armor makes me think he's either going tabbies for boots or potentially Seeker's Arm Guard. We see Garen looking to make something of this pick on Gwen, but Haku's in the area, so Garen had to back off of that. Dippy, though, had to burn ult to clear that wave. But we see Rumble TPing behind them in the middle of Sad Jellyfish's jungle, and he ends up dropping the ult here. But Haku's trying his best to just distract him. We see an Ezreal come down, but we see Barty ends up using the ult to save Haku here. So a lot of ults getting thrown from both sides here. And a TP burn by Rumble. So really nice response here from Sad Jellyfish. Nice cage out there by Dippy, but we see Shanti looks like he might get caught out, but uses the blast cone to get away. We see the Rift Herald automatically getting dropped because it timed out in Haku's inventory. But looks like not going to get much value there. I would have liked to see him use that Rift Herald, one of the side lanes. But you gotta do what you gotta do to save your protect your team there. And we do see Tabbies coming out by Salt here, so we'll see what this third item is going to be. I think it has to be a death cap here, because he's going to have to spike, or I feel like he's just trying to scale too much. Well, we do have a second here where check. Salt has 212 stacks on his passive here, about 420 AP. So I think by the time he gets the death cap done here at about the 28 to 30 minute mark, he's going to be in that like 800 to 1000 AP, depending on fights. But we see the Rumble potentially getting caught out, slowed by the Zillion, and then flashed out the stun. But Rumble did a very, very good job of dodging everything. And then we see Backdoor Bandits responding quite a bit here. We see Barty ends up burning the ult here. We'll see if Vi ends up ulting him. And he does here, so Barty ends up going down. And very well played by SCYX on this Vi here, waiting for the Zillion ult to go down. Though I felt like Barty was pretty close to flashing away from that. If his flash, yeah, I think his flash was up for that. So interesting that he didn't decide to flash away there and he was holding on to it. With that being said, Backdoor Bandits has enough tempo here to take down this second dragon. So dragons are now evened up 2-2. 6 kills to 5 in favor of Backdoor Bandits, and about a 6,000 gold lead by their team comp. We do see a needlessly large rod coming out by Salt, which is, you know, I think now the ticking time bomb here. I think once he gets to Rabadon's death cap, this Vagar is going to absolutely be able to one-shot anybody here and punch through. We see Garen's not really trying to itemize any MR. I don't see Steric's Gauge coming out from Vi. It looks like it's potentially a Death's Dance. But now we see the Backdoor Bandits team comp looking to start up Baron. Now this is the game changer for them. I think once they get Baron, they, similar to last game, they have a lot of innate push into the Sad Jellyfish team comp here. Haku's not even on this side of the map, so this is going to be a free Baron here over for the side of Backdoor Bandits. The Ezreal ult was just a touch early here. See Zillion tried to do his best to take it, so let's see if Backdoor Bandits can use this Baron wisely and make a push. As Baron buff will fall off about the time that this dragon comes up here. So let's see what happens. I would look for probably Salt and Haku to catch somebody out, like Wukong ult while the cage is setting up. And CC somebody and burst him down. Baron with 6 grubbies could be GG. Yeah, I'd like the 6 grubbies has put in some work here if you ever left him alone in a lane, but I do like Sad Jellyfish's like rotations. That for the most part they're not dropping lanes, they're not dropping tempo and pressure here. I just do say that the Sad Jellyfish comp doesn't have damage without Salt. Like this Gwen did not get far enough ahead. This Wukong's not bringing like the most insane amount of damage. Neither is this Ezreal. So without Salt being in a lane there, there's not that much threatening damage. Look, I mean, look at that onto Rumble here. If that's post death cap, he one shots. So we'll see what happens here. Everything is kind of in the pocket of Salt by default, who was our MVP 2 splits ago. You see a turret falling down top lane. You see potentially a turret falling. Yeah, turret was falling mid.
Rising your old Phoenix fire.
Zoom out just a touch because I feel like this next team fight's gonna get pretty hectic here. You see a turret falling down bot lane as well. We'll see. Yeah, Baron buff's about a little over 3/4 of the way worn out here on the side here. So Baron buff ends up cracking open all 3 tier 2s in favor of Backdoor Bandits here. And we got Dragon coming up in the next 45 seconds. I don't think Salt has a full death cap here. No, he's just got another needlessly large rod. So I think if Sad Jellyfish can get the tempo on this Dragon, they stand a chance of having enough zone control that Backdoor Bandits can't walk into it without some type of flank. But it looks like Backdoor Bandits already has the tempo, and they're already heading there, setting up vision.
Never falter. Improve your skills, then find me again.
Yeah, this ends up being a 10k gold lead here, just shy of the 30-minute mark. And Haku is topside here, so I think this Sad Jellyfish understand that they gotta make a pick or make something happen, that they're not gonna win these straight up team fights. I don't necessarily like disagree with. It's just you're hedging everything on this last team fight to where I feel like you still have zone control, that they can't walk into you that easily. So we'll see. With every second that ticks by, the Sad Jellyfish comp is scaling, especially this Vagar. And everything's going to be into his pocket. If they can protect his Vagar, he can do a lot of work in these team fights. Yeah, Victor, I do agree. Especially post Baron. I felt like before that Baron, they had wave clear, but they weren't ahead enough, and they didn't push that Jellyfish deep enough into their map. But with all three of those tier 2s getting dropped during that Baron push, now it's hard for them to walk into their own jungle. That they've got to respect the Backdoor Bandits comp quite heavily. I do agree, yeah. Like you mentioned earlier in the chat, that the 6 grubs can be a pain in the ass to deal with, on top of Baron buff. So
Never falter.
oh my god, this Garen takes no damage. Wow, bye Dippy.
Audacious bravery shield.
Oh, but they might have caught out Aeroceps here. Maybe? We see the Ezreal come out. Oh, but Karma ends up saving him. And we see Dippy ends up getting pushed down. And Sivir ends up flashing in the middle of the base here to get a double kill. But ends up falling as well. Wow, what a man mode play coming out of this Sivir to flash into the face of Sad Jellyfish. And know that she had to take out Ezreal and Vagar here. And what an abrupt ending here for Backdoor Bandits, as they are going to take down Sad Jellyfish. And they're going to improve to 3-0 here on the split, as Sad Jellyfish, unfortunately with this loss, puts them at 1-2. We see Salt completed that death cap right at the very end there. Oh, it such a feels bad. Wow, what a series. What a series. Let me see if I can get an interview. See, looks like we might get an interview from one of the members of Backdoor Bandits here. Let me open up this channel, as I've only got it limited to one person, because I forgot I did that. There we go. Save changes. Perfect.
Hello.
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 Congrats on the win.
Thank you. It was a little crazy, but we got it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and introduce yourself for the viewers here.
My name is Julia, novice on League. I'm the AD carry and captain for Backdoor Bandits.
Nice, nice. This is your first split in this Midwest League, correct?
No, actually, I'm kind of a low Midwest lurker slash veteran. I actually played a few years ago with Zeke, actually, and then I played with my own team, and then I just took a pretty big break, and now I'm back with the squad.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. What boy, let's talk about this series.
Yeah.
Especially like your performance specifically on like the CSing. Like you're a farming monster that game one there on the Misfortune.
Yeah, I just kind of looked down and it looked a little crazy. It was just kind of a free lane. I was kind of expecting the Caitlyn. I saw their ADC plays it quite a bit, and Caitlyn is pretty oppressive and annoying, but also really easy to counter with stuff. So yeah, I didn't want to go APC because then we wouldn't have enough AD damage, and yeah, I was a little scared when I saw the Braum, but yeah, it worked out. It was a pretty free lane.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys pushed back Shanti and Barty like quite a lot, and actually both games. I know you got I think what 4 plates in the first game. You got quite a few plates in the second game. Um,
Yeah, I got a lot of money from that.
mm-hmm. What what was like the big? I don't want to say like turning point because we seen that the Braum got caught out, but I mean you guys played so patient. It felt like all
Yeah.
day. What was that? What was that like? It looked like you were very reserved on pulling the trigger on some team fights there.
Right. Well, we know Dippy is a very, very strong player. We know he's going to be looking to ult, probably me. So we were just gonna be patient and look for the right time to do it. And we were basically just looking for one or two people on their team to be caught out. And our team comp let us make picks really easily with Rek'Sai, Galio. And the Nami wave goes kind of crazy too.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say I was like a whole believer in the first comp, but you know, you guys
Makes
definitely
sense.
well, you guys played it really well, and I know.
We're used to it. We're catching strays from Pugsley all the time on our drafting too.
No,
Like,
well, it's not. It wasn't like I wouldn't say I thought it was terrible. It was just very interesting. Like I seen the theory with the Galio delivery system, but there was
yeah,
just a lot of pressure put onto to your role there to do damage. But they had
yeah.
so many ways of interrupting, like Misfortune ult as well.
Yeah, that was the big thing. I didn't really get any good ults off, but
Yeah.
I went the crit build instead of the lethality build so I could actually walk up and auto people.
Hmm.
I was able to do that.
Now let's talk about this game two here. I felt like you guys were playing that game two almost too slow because you have a ticking time bomb in this Vagar in the mid
Right.
lane here, and it felt like in the mid game you guys definitely after that Baron realized that that was your way of getting turrets and getting map pressure back into your guys' favor. What was like? How was that all transpired there? So that was a really good like Baron take there, knowing that Haku was on the other side of the map.
Right. Well, that was our goal, like from the start, like talking about how we need to close out the game pretty early because of the Gwen and the Vagar, but yeah, it just sometimes it didn't quite work out, but again, we just played pretty patient and waited for people to be out of position, and it ended up that we got a lot of advantages through plates and CS leads, and I thought Gwen building Merc Treads was a little weird, because then you saw at the end Emmer just ran up on Dippy and killed him like that. And then, yeah, I had a Sivir moment at the end, finally, after being 0-1 the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, you flashed into their faces to take out Ezreal and Veigar. I'm like, what is she doing?
Yeah. Yeah, 3-item Sivir is pretty crazy. Or was it 4? It was 4 by that point.
Yeah, it was 4-item Sivir.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just Sivir things.
Well, that puts you at 3-0 for the group so far, and I believe that basically locks you guys in the playoffs here.
Yeah.
For the most part. So, what's your take on the league so far? Kind of returning to it. You enjoying this?
I think it's cool how many teams we were able to get. I remember back in the day finding teams was a bit of a struggle, but nowadays it looks like there's a lot of interest, and that makes it pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited for playoffs.
Is there any team you're kind of circling you want to see in playoffs, or?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like in leagues like this, any game could go like any way. I think every game that we've played has been really fun. So I don't know if there's a specific team, but looking forward to playing everybody.
All right. Well, I'll let you go back to your team, but congrats on the win. That puts you guys at 3-0, and you beat one of the powerhouses that have been in the league in Sad Jellyfish.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
And yeah, and you ended up beating Load the Cannons too. So your next challenge is actually week 5 against Small Brains.
Yeah. Small Brain. Yeah. We're looking forward to it. We'll
Yeah.
start scouting them.
Yeah, week 4 you got Ice Wall, and while they haven't started off the season great, like you said, any team can pull off a win. But week 5 is going to be so much fun on that new season patch.
Yeah, for sure.
So, alrighty, well, I'm going to let you go back to your team. I appreciate the interview, and congrats on the win again.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is GG for us, as Backdoor Bandits end up taking the series off of Sad Jellyfish, and a very, very impressive performance. So, hopefully everybody enjoyed the night, enjoyed both series that were played here, and we'll be back with you tomorrow, as there is 1, 2, 3 series tomorrow. So I believe 1, maybe 2 of those will be casted. I'm not 100% sure. I know I will be unavailable because I'm playing in one of those series, and Hairwick will also be playing in one of the other series. So we'll see what happens if we can get at least one of those casted. If not, Friday we'll definitely cast over the replays and give everybody all of the action that's here in week 3 of the winter split for the LOL Midwest League. Hopefully y'all have a great night, and keep grinding in the solo queue.